This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so yesterday we saw how you install the AEM instance. Install as in how do you run it locally, and we saw various consoles which were there. Like we saw site admin, DAM admin, user admin, CRXD, your package manager, system console bundles, your config manager, and so on. And I explained them in brief. What do they do? I did not dive deep into those descriptions because eventually we are going to do these things. So there's no point in spending time right now and later on revising it. We'll do it in one go. And when the other basic things are clear, all those consoles, their working, their functionalities, their importance will make a lot more sense in the later sessions. So what today we will see is we'll try to understand what is authoring, what is publishing, how publishing happens, what happens when you publish a code or a page or anything, the types of publishing that we have available, and so on. So what does comes to your mind when you hear the word authoring? Do not read this statement for the time being. What do you think authoring is? Anyone? Any guesses?
Writing, creating something.
Creating content.
Yes, Divya, you're right. But in general, what is the English meaning of word authoring? Author.
An owner.
Yes.
Who authorizes, validates?
Yeah, kind of. Anshul, you're also not wrong, but you are going in other direction.
Okay.
English authoring as in, think it from this perspective, writers, related to a writer, and just think for a few seconds. I'll explain what exactly authoring is.
Owning the content?
Yeah, very close.
Content creator.
Yes. The main task of any author is to write, to create content, to create stories, right? So from AEM perspective, authoring is the process of adding content to your code with the help of dialogues. The content addition is done with the help of dialogues, but in very basic terms, in authoring, you add data to the page. This data to the page is added with the help of something called as dialogues. Okay. The data added can be static or dynamic, depending on whether data is coming from the API or whether it's manually written. And authoring environment or author instance is generally located behind the company's firewall to protect it so that nobody can access it and change the content. Let's see authoring in action. So yesterday I had shown you how you can start your AEM instance in author mode. Now let me show you how you can start your AEM instance in publisher mode. So for that, all you have to do is yesterday's batch, right? Yeah. So it was CQ-author-P4502. P stands for port. This is author. So this jar file is running in author mode with port number 4502. Similarly, to create a publisher instance, create a new folder in your directory that is publish. Where is that? Create a new publisher, copy your license file and jar file inside this publisher folder, and just rename it from author to publish. Just rename it in this way, whatever you see over here. -publish -P4503. Stick to 4503 for the time being. Then later you can experiment with any port number that you want. So once you have renamed it, all you have to do is double click on this. And as I mentioned, for the first timers, it will take a lot of time. And eventually from second time onwards, the load time would be drastically reduced. So I have 2 AEM instances running. Both are on different ports, and the port numbers are in succession with each other. So this is author, which is running on 4502 even number port, and this is publisher, which is running on 4503 odd number port. Any doubt in this? Any questions before I move forward? Okay. So let's close all these things. Let's open a page. We'll go to United States. We'll open English page. Click on edit. The page that is present over here will get page that is present over here. Give it
Ashish, can you
second.
navigate again? Can you just navigate again for our reference?
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
So how it would be is you will click on this guy first on the top, home icon, click on navigation, click on sites. Then inside, this is your sites console. Any page you want to open has to be opened via this. Like there is another way, but let's stick to this method. So if you selected the English page, you click on edit. So it will open in this mode, which is touch UI mode, and we are interested in touch UI only. You can go through this list. I should explain that as well. Done. So this is something called a side panel. So once you click on this, it will open a side panel for you. This is your touch UI mode. You can identify whether the page is in touch UI mode is by seeing this term editor.html. Make a note of it. Okay, these things are like very small things, but they help a lot. Okay, in your side panel, you have these 3 options. Okay, so the first option is assets. All the images that are available in your DAM or that are related to your project, they can be used. They can be selected from here and dragged and dropped on the page. In the dialogues, basically. I'll explain that what they are. Then you have components. All the components related to your projects are present over here. They can be dragged and dropped as well on the page. And after that, you have content tree. So content tree is basically, it tells you which component has been dragged and dropped on the page. Which component is nested in which component. For example, let's say carousel. Carousel is nest. You have one container. Inside container, you have carousel component, and inside carousel, you have teaser component. So this kind of structuring, this kind of content, this kind of hierarchy is shown in the content tree section. Now, after this, you have something called as properties or page information. Over here, you see all the information that is related to your page. You can start a workflow on this page. You can log this page from others using, you can publish this page, you can unpublish, you can edit the template that is being used by this page. You can see it as a published. This is one of the things that we would be using frequently. Okay, when you click on this, okay, just remind me that I have to explain it later. I'll explain it in today's session, just 10-15 minutes ahead. View in admin and help. And this is for your emulators. If you click on this, your emulators will come into picture. They'll tell you that this is for smaller screens. This is the S7 size. This is for iPhone. This is iPad Retina. This is the desktop size. And you can increase and decrease the size, and according to, you can decide how will the look and feel be of the pages. Then this is your edit options or WCM mode options. We would be spending time in two things. Majority of the time would be spent in edit mode, and then developer mode, layout and all those things, very less time. We'll see what they are, but for now, let's stick to edit and developer. And then you see whenever you hover, you have this blue line which is highlighting everything. To avoid this, you can simply click on preview. It will appear in a better way. Now, let's go to edit mode again. Let me explain what exactly is authoring now. So you see this blue line, this container or this rectangle, which says drag you component here. This is called as parses. Okay, parses is a container which will hold other components. So all these components which are dragged and dropped on a page, they are inserted into a parses. So let's see. So what I just did, this process is called dragging and dropping or adding a component on your page. So I just added one component on my page, which was is title. Let's me add one more. Here you see this insert new component option. So I'll add text. Text got added. Now, if I right now it gave us a default text somewhere which is called as English. If I want to edit it, if I'm not happy with the word English, maybe I want something else. So I'll click on this option which is called as configure. Now, over here I can give any title. Let's say I can decide which tag I have to use, if I want to link it or no. I do not want to link it initially. Click on OK. The content changed. Now, this process of changing the page content with the help of dialog is called as authoring. Okay. So now these, if you read these two statements, they'll make more sense now. Authoring is a process of adding content to the page via an UI, and the UI which I'm talking about, your user interface that I'm talking about, is the dialog. Dialog is created by developers like us who will give the content authors option. Let's say I had selected H1, I wanted 6. Boom. This becomes short. Let's keep it H1 for the time being. Let's author this as well with some.
So Ashish, this is what is used by the business folks, right? Or not the developers?
Business folks or content authors, there are two roles which are possible over here.
So
Content authors, their task is specifically to author the page. They would be given certain text that this is what the page should look like, a design, and they come over here, they drag and drop the components which are required, and they author the content the way I'm doing it.
okay. But like if the standard template is created, then even a business user can just go and update in the.
Exactly. So that's how it is. That's why business owners love this thing, that they do not have to rely on us developers to make even a small change. Or in any front-end application, React, if you want to change the content, you have to either give it via the API, right? Using some microservice, any dynamic content can be populated, or for any static content change, there has to be a new deployment to be done.
Right.
But here, that kind of restriction is not there. That's why this is one of the reasons why businesses love this, because once the development work is done, they are free to design the pages. Right now, there is an offer going on. For example, let's say Black Friday sale. They'll come over here, they'll change the banner that and everything is according to the Black Friday sale. Tomorrow, some Mother's Day is going on, so they can add Mother's Day offers. Let's say some other event is Halloween is going on in their region. They'll add it according to the requirement. So whatever region, whatever marketing they want to do it without disturbing us that, hey, I want to change the content. Can you please do it?
Right. And
they reach out to us. Yeah.
Sorry,
Please go
go
ahead. I'm saying they reach out to us in case they are unable to achieve the functionality that they want. Then we either create a new component or we update the existing one to cater the requirement.
Right. But is this like limited to text only, or is it like images or anything?
No, everything. I just dragged and dropped two components. Let's say hero image. Now, by default, English is coming because that's how this component has been built. If nothing is authored, it should show the name of the page. Let's see. Let's go to the side rail. Let's go to assets. Let's drag and drop this image. Yeah. Let's add properties. I'm adding properties. It's called camera example. This is flow. Let's add a button label. Picture. Let's link it to some page. Page as in very detail. We'll link it to Canada, let's say. Canada's English about us page. Click OK. Now click on OK, and whatever you authored is present over here. So this functionality depends on the capability of your component. So right now, if I click on this, and if I go to preview mode and I click on this, what happened here? It took me to the Canada's CAEN about us page. Let's go to edit mode again. Now, okay. Now, whatever changes that I did right now, everything resides in my author for the time being. So the next thing that will learn about is publishing. Okay. So this is one thing. And publishing, as I mentioned before, publishing, activate, or replicate. All three are synonyms of each other, replicate or replication. Publishing, activate, replicate, or replication. All are synonyms of each other. What it means is pushing the data from author to publisher. I'll explain how that is done. So this is one thing. Now, unpublish or deactivate. These two terms are used whenever you are pulling as in when you are invalidating some data which is there in the publish environment. Because in your in the project scenarios, you won't have access to publish. You will have only access to author. Let's say right now this page. Okay, ignore publish for now. Let's do the ignore unpublishing for now. Let's do the publish first. So how do you publish a page? First, let's go and open our 4503. Let's see on which page is it pointing at, and then we'll go to that page. We'll try to author it according to that. So it's content we detailed USEN, and in our case, it is content we detailed USEN. So we both are on the same page. But if you see at the bottom, and at the bottom of my author, I have some new text. And at the bottom of my publisher, there is no text. And as I had explained in the first demo session, that publisher is the one serving the request. So whenever user will search for this page vretail en.html page of vretail, the user will only see this whatever is present in publisher, not whatever is present in author. So for this, what we'll do is we publish the data from author to publisher. So for that, there's a very easy process. Click on this option, page information. You have something called as publish page. Click on publish page. It will ask whether these assets which needs to be published as well, because they are still in author instance. Click on publish, select all the assets and click on publish. Why we selected all these assets? Because right now we know these assets are present in AEM, in publisher. But in your project, it might happen that you uploaded some asset in your author environment and you use that asset, but that asset is not present in publisher environment. So when you try to push it without the assets, what will happen is the image will appear as a broken one. To avoid that kind of situation, we publish all the things that AEM is asking us to do.
Ashish, whenever we add any new assets in the DAM, so it is still in the author environment or it is automatically published to the publisher?
You can configure it that way, that whenever something is updated in author, your replication agent will trigger and it gets automatically published. But you should not do it. The reason for that is, for example, let's say business is trying to test 7-10 images, which image is looking good on their website, right? There's no point in updating 10-15 images in publisher which are not going to be used later. So once the finalization is done, then only you should publish, but automatic process is also there. So now if you had observed on the top, there was an info called as page information has been published. Page has been published. Right now, if I again do it, on the top, there should be a message info, the page has been published. Now, if I go and reload this guy, or sorry, publisher's page, whatever was there in my author has come over here. And now when end user will search for this content, they'll see these things, whatever changes I did. Let's go and modify something as well. In the second session, let's make all these things italic. Okay. Then again, click on this publish page. It would be published. Right now this is a plain text, no styling. Now just turned into italic text. So whatever
So now
changes you will do.
live changes.
Sorry.
Sorry, now you are making live changes because this was already in publish, right? We are now making changes in the live
Yeah, live
website,
copy.
live
Yeah.
copy, right?
Yes, correct. So whatever changes you will do in author, you just have to push it. So if you do not push it, they will only remain in author. It's very simple.
Yeah. And one more thing, Ashish, is there a preview environment like because in my
Yes.
organization, yes. So because when business makes the changes, they first want to test it in preview environment on how exactly it will look in the front end. And then
Mhm.
only like after testing and validating, then they give the go ahead to push it to production.
Yep.
So where is that preview environment?
Okay. So as a developer, because you already know one AEM instance takes the life out of your present system. Having two AEM environments running parallelly will create it would be a life-threatening situation for your laptop. It will be very slow. It will keep on hanging. It will keep on causing lots of performance issues. What we developers do, we do not care about how the production, we do not care about publish environment at all, because we know we are not going to use it. It's just a container for us.
Right.
I can see how my page is going to look in publish environment just by using this property, view as published. It will open the page, and this is how my page is going to look to the end user if I publish it.
Okay.
Okay. So before publishing, they can see, okay, this is how the look and feel is going to be. This is how the behavior is going to be on the publisher. Okay. You can either go it from here, or another way of opening this page in WCM disabled mode is, where is duplicate option? Duplicate. Remove the touch UI option from here. Okay. And at the end of the URL, just add a query parameter, which is called as WCM mode equals to disabled. Press enter.
What is this WCM mode?
So this is your WCM, okay? Web content management. This is edit mode. This is develop WCM. This is mode. There's that.
Okay.
Okay, so it has its own mode, whatever you see over here. And WCM disabled mode is just not given over here. So for that, you have the option. Or if you want to click functionalities, if you're able to see, and if you want to see how the page will appear as an end user to the end user, you can simply right click on view as published. Any doubt in this?
Yeah, no, just one confirmation. So this is something like print preview functionality, right? Like when we want to print something, we do print preview. So this is the same like view as published, but like in general,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So the preview environment that we talk in the organizations, is it a different environment altogether, or is it
Yes. So what will happen is, before production, you have something called as pre-prod. Pre-prod could be stage or QA or UAT environment, right? So what you do is you create another website as in which is pointing to your stage, and you add the domain QA in front of it. Again, it varies from organization to organization, but QA dot.
Yeah, we do add some prefix in front of the original URL.
This is your original domain, and you have one QA website which is running. Okay, so over here, the business can decide the look and feel, how things would be looking once the things go live. Because business does not care about, they do not want this kind of URL where things are not making sense to them. They want everything plain and simple. They should log into one URL, whatever functionality that is there, they should be able to achieve it access it, right? Whether the things are updated or no, it does not matter to them. Or another thing is what they do is they do all the changes in first stage. Developer will develop and give it to QA, or the business users or the content authors of the business. They'll do the changes that this is how the page is going to look after the changes that you have asked me to. And in the ticket, they'll share this URL. Whosoever is doing the UAT from the business side, they'll open the page. Once they approve it, then and then only this page will be published in production or used by production. Otherwise, it won't be used.
Right.
That's the hierarchy or the flow that has to be followed.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. Any more questions on this authoring part? Okay. So we saw how you can publish it with a class with a touch. You can also publish the same page from here as well. So let me do some changes. What can I change? Second session. Let's delete and say let it be present. I'll add one more.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Actually, for that, publish all the content from author environment to the publish environment. For that, we need to create any configuration or that anything. No need to create works.
Yes, you have to. I'll explain it right now why there was no need to create the configuration, because by default Adobe's author runs on 4502 and Adobe's publisher runs on 4503.
Okay.
Okay,
But we need to create for that.
yeah, if you are deviating, so what will happen is initially you will have the replication agent or the configuration which is required to connect 4502 and 4503. But if you deviate from 4503 to maybe 4505, you will have to create the configuration manually by yourself. Right now it is given. That's why initially I told you that please stick with 450 being.
Okay.
And
further
later on,
we will discuss on that. Correct?
Yeah, exactly. How exactly? Once we dive deep into this thing, we'll discuss how this works, how it is created.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Okay. So now I clicked on. I changed the data. I can publish the page from here as well. You have something called as manage publication or quick publish. Let's click on quick publish. And references and other things could also be published. Absolutely okay. Now if I go to my publish environment, this text which I just added got added now. So this is another way of publishing the page. You do not have to even open the page as well. If someone tells you that you have to publish a page, there's no need to open it. Just select and click on publish. Similarly, this is your site admin in the Touch UI. You had site admin in the classic UI as well. So over here we were doing in United States English, right? If you click on this United States, you have option of activate and deactivate. Okay, so activation, this tells you it's in the published state and it was published by administrator, because right now I'm the admin user, on 7:40, just 1 minute ago. Let me do a little bit of more modification in this. Now the modification has been done. Let's see how you can activate it from here. So in the classic UI, touch it. This is simply right click on activate. This got changed to 741. Right now it's 742. And if you go and check this one, this should have been updated. So over here you have the option called as publish. Over here you have the option called as activate. Now, when I click on deactivate, what will happen? See, page has been deactivated and this resource does not exist on the publisher anymore. I did not go to publisher to delete this page. I simply deactivated it and end user cannot access it anymore. So once any page is in deactivated state, in classic UI, it will look like with the orange, or you can call it red mark. And in the touch UI, how will it look? Let's see. It will appear as a normal page. And if you see, if you select this in the status, it will say that it is not published. So you can simply publish it from here as well. There's no issue. Once it is published, once you reload this page, it will appear. That was called unpublishing the page.
Sorry,
Unpublishing. Yeah.
So this publishing and deactivating, this works for the whole page, not just like I was thinking that you are just going to deactivate this last edited content, like I'm editing the text component. But like what we deactivated is the whole page. So this publish and activate happens for the whole page, not for a single component.
That is possible via CRXD. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All those things are possible via CRXD, but for the business users, we will only give them access till here and give them access to replicate or update the changes. CRXD is for developers because if you are giving anyone access to CRXD, that means you are giving them access to repository. Whatever changes they'll do over here, or you can simply say that it's like giving someone access to your database. Whatever changes would be done over here will get reflected on the page. So let's think. So this was the vdetail. This was the page. In US, we were trying to edit this page. Which we had added. Welcome to the second session.
Oh, okay. Actually, what I was trying to understand is like a few times we see that business just wants to update the legal disclaimer, the terms and conditions. So my question is like, do they have to republish the whole page even to update that particular section?
Yes. They'll have to publish because we do not give them access here. Over here, you can define selective modules which has to be published. Let's see. I'm making some changes over here. Date over here, and in the hero image, I'll camera. Second session. Okay. I'm modifying two values over here. One is this heading, and hello, I'm camera, and I've modified this one as well.
Right.
I just want my title to be pushed, nothing else. So in that case, you have replication. Click on replicate option. Select the node which you want to update and click on replicate.
Okay.
It's got activated. You reload it again. This becomes a little bit intricate for business developers business users who do not have knowledge about the development process. That's why this is possible, but we do not allow them to do it. And if this text, this is still appearing as a normal one.
And Ashish, sorry to interrupt, but
yeah,
Ashish, and even if we make changes this way, we will still have to publish the page, right?
you're not publishing the page. See, you are only activating or changing one segment, one section of this entire page. All these
Will it be
components, they
reflected in
contain.
the publish environment? Will that be reflected in the publish environment?
Yes, right now, see, I just deactivated the title component from the page. Okay, this is my publish environment 4503. I reload it. That is not present. But if I go to CRXD again and I simply activate it, see, from deactivated change to activate. Now if I go to publish environment and check it, it came over here. Similarly, the text which I just authored or just changed from the backend, view image. Right now, if you see, the status is nothing over here. And this is the title which I just modified. Let's go to replication tab, click on replicate. It got activated. If I reload the page now, hello, I am camera should change to on the second session.
Got it.
And the same thing would have happened on the author as well. But after replication, the changes got pushed to publish. These are the three ways through which you can push. Let's say I do not want this component anymore. So I have two options. Either I can go and delete this option from here, okay, and then publish the page. You're able to imagine this, right? Let's say I do not want this text. Delete it. Now this is only there. Click on publish. We just published, reload this page, the text would be gone. But let me add it again, some text. Text component over here. Save it. Now this dummy text, let me publish it again so that this value is present on my publisher. Now, if I want only to remove this dummy text from the page, first option was deleting this dummy text. Second is, let's refresh this once so that we'll have the right value. Dummy text. You can simply try to replicate, delete it. Then you reload your publisher again, it's gone. Any questions?
Like in general, whenever the content is updated, will it not impact the pictures or the layout of the box? Like if I'm just adding the content, will it not need any help from the developer here to adjust it within the box or not overflow, like all the styling and stuff?
No. That's the beauty of AEM.
Okay.
Because if you have developed the, for example, you saw, right? As soon as I added extra line over here, it got automatically, it changed, it got to the new line, this got entered into the next line and so on. So majority of the times, if you have developed the component properly, these things can be handled by itself. Component can take care of these things.
Okay.
Okay, but if I write a lot of things over here, let's say, I wrote, now this will overflow.
Right.
There are certain restrictions as well, but business is already aware about these things. That for this, if I want to update this kind of situation, then I'll have to increase the size of the image that is being rendered over here, or I'll have to decrease the content. So business will have to compromise over here in this situation.
And that image editing is also possible in the similar way we edit the text.
Yes, you can edit the image over here. If you want to change it, you can browse it from your local system as well. Let's say, let's upload this guy. Okay.
Yeah.
So there are a number of possible options which are there, but what exactly is happening in the background is the task of us, the developers. Okay. Any questions?
So if I want to change the styling, like hello ham camera from the second session, if I want to make it as italic, some styling, if I want to apply CSS, how can I do it?
Yeah, so for that, you will have, again, right now you can give option like checkbox, make title italic. And once the checkbox is checked in the HTML, using Sightly, you can perform a simple if condition. If the checkbox is checked, apply some another styling to it. Apply some other class. For example, let's see right now, if you inspect this, okay, this is, and I'm not really CSS, but I think class H3. This won't be the class strong. Okay, so you have hero image title, which is getting applied, be hero image title. So similarly, if the checkbox is checked, you can apply another class italic, which will contain all the settings which is supposed to make the text italic. If the checkbox is unchecked, you can simply remove this class. So all these options are possible from the back, from your template level, from your scripting level of the component. Business has to give us the requirement and we'll implement it. And once you create the component, from tomorrow's session, once we dive into creating the templates and other things, these things will make sense.
Yeah, thanks.
Is any more questions?
Just the last thing. So basically, this means that a standard template has a defined font and style and the image size, which cannot change.
This is not tampered. This is not achieved by a template. Template gives you the layout. These are individual components.
All right.
Okay. So why we define the client libraries, or the styling has to be loaded with a page, because the styling, they are global. I do not want my one text to appear like this and another text to appear as a monotype cursiva and another one to be appear as a Times New Roman. Right. Font has to be same. The styling has to be consistent across all the pages, so on. So global styles are loaded with the page. But sometimes some text, for example, over here, the one example that I showed where I had italicized the description. Right. Some text you want to appear, or something you want to appear in a different format in the website. Something unique you want to show. Something italic, something maybe a little bit bolder, something of a little bit extra color. So all those things can be given away. Okay, in the component side.
Okay.
Okay. Any more questions? Okay, guys. So I think that's it for today. And one more thing that I would like to inform you is that only the paid students will be allowed from the next class onwards. Okay, so you will have to reach out to, if you're planning to enroll, you will have to reach out to the organizer